That snowfall on the radar, and that's what's showing up as blue. And you notice it's all blue. We don't have any of the mix out there. It is that cold. Marquette at 25, Alpena at 27, Green Bay, as we were just showing you, 30 degrees with some light snow. Generally speaking, it is on the lighter side. And if you are traveling 75 southward from northern Michigan down to, say, Saginaw, you are running into a little bit and then out of it. But 86, I-90, parts of the New York State Thruway, just a heads up as you drive along those roadways, just enough that we're going to see some reduced visibility and maybe some slipping up of those roadways. But it's plenty cold, and we have a cold front that's going to be moving off to the south and the east during the rest of the week. And so it's cold and then getting colder. We've been sort of, that part of the story has been well advertised, just how much colder it is going to go. And then you see some of that wintry precipitation that goes along with it. So it is going to be some snowfall today into this evening. Syracuse, you do notice, though, towards Thursday morning that there may be a little bit more of the mix to a cold rain from Pittsburgh to Cincinnati and then off into western Tennessee and parts of the south. And then you see what happens as we get late Thursday into Friday. You may get some of that mix in through parts of the south and mid-Atlantic. Notice it does exit the east coast here by Friday morning, so an easier drive on Friday evening across much of the Northeast and New England for that evening rush. All of that clears on out of there. When all is said and done, you can see several inches of snowfall here. We're taking you just through Friday morning, perhaps as much as 3 to 5 inches in western New York State, central New York State, and parts of New. Right there, we're talking Patriots country. I know you've got your big game plan, so let's help you plan accordingly, because this is going to be impactful for a lot of us. So we have 2 disturbances moving to the southeast and some cold air to tap into. We have moisture that is also going to be available, so you put that combination together and you know something is going to start cooking. Time frame wise, though, it is going to be a weekend thing. Saturday into Sunday, snow likely on the northern side, rain and thunder on the south side. No surprises there. However, start watching where we're seeing that snowfall. Okay, so by Saturday, it's Chicago, it's Detroit, even into Cleveland, Erie, and Buffalo. By Saturday night, starting to knock on the door in the Northeast, Allentown and Albany. By Sunday, now you're thinking making that last dash to the grocery store. You have everyone coming into town. The I-95 corridor seems to be one of those spots right here that we may have that rain snow line. So to the north and west of I-95, it could be anywhere from a mix to freezing rain, and then interior snow by Sunday and into Monday, and then rain as you get closer to the coast, and that includes parts of New York City, Long Island, down to D.C. All right, so here's a look at the Euro model, one model output of how much snow we're looking at between Friday and Monday. I'm just going to kind of quickly highlight some of the purple areas to give you an idea of the difference. Okay, so that's where we could see more substantial snow according to the Euro. We get to the GFS and you see a little bit more robust in areas, especially into New England, parts of the Great Lakes and the Ohio River Valley. So still a little bit of the detail to work out, but the overall picture is this is going to be a pretty impactful snowmaker from the Great Lakes into parts of the Northeast. Chicago for you begins on Saturday, so Friday you should be good as far as travel, and then Saturday night with those temperatures dropping into the 20s with the snow arriving, and Detroit, your temperatures falling into the teens with some snow into Saturday.
All right, I tell you. Do you see that?
Baby, my goodness.
All right, time now for that Alka-Seltzer Plus cold flu report, and it is not a good report. Unfortunately, we're still dealing with tough, just horrible conditions across the country. Now, Maria, if we look back to last year,
right,
it was bad enough last year.
Right. You know, a couple of things happening this season that is, of course, helping this along is just that cold Arctic outbreak that we had mid-December into January. Everyone was closed in. So no surprise, we are still seeing all 49 states here, I should say 49 states, not all, except Hawaii, of course, reporting widespread flu. So it's not leaving any area untouched.
It sure is, and it happens so quickly. Look at this graph here showing you the states in widespread. We go back to basically the middle part of November where we didn't have any states in that widespread category. But then look what happened. December jumped up to 23 and then really zoomed up at the beginning of the year to 49. So very fast spreading of this virus.
Yeah, and a couple of things have helped it along. Of course, how dry it has been, the cold temperatures, and this is in general, but certainly this has all happened recently. And of course, those cold temperatures, everyone's hanging out together and not outside as much. All right, a big weekend ahead for the NFL. We start off with Charlotte, and there you go, taking you in through tomorrow night and into Friday. And you can see temperatures at the time the moisture comes will be above freezing. So that's some good news, and then quickly followed by some sunshine. That's always great news, actually, to see that. Not looking at that freezing rain, at least not right now. Sunshine is out. Atlanta and Savannah already up near 50 degrees. Charlotte with the cloud cover still into the 30s for now. But as we get into the later part of the week, you'll be seeing how we connect the dots to all the systems that are coming through and bringing some of that snowy weather to the north. Well, to the south, it's also bringing some weather. But at this point, a lot of us are going to see the green. So by tomorrow for the lunch hour, Atlanta, Birmingham, Nashville dinner time, Jackson too, some of those showers coming on through. Once the sun goes down and some of that cooler air comes in behind it, you may see, especially in the higher elevations into eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, some of that snow. But Charlotte, you hang on to those temperatures well above freezing. So again, that's some good news there. All right, Atlanta, timing it out for you. You can see from tomorrow and into Friday. Watch that early morning drive, 6 a.m. temperature though, 41 degrees. Alex? The chills of hearing that. Well, we have dry conditions right now, and when you look overall at the picture and the rainfall, it has been overwhelmingly dry. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, and San Diego. You have a look at the rainfall since October 1st, start of their water year, and every hour points down. Now we're just talking 2 to 5 inches below average in many of the cases, but the idea is that it's progressively gotten worse. Not so much in Southern California. It has not gotten better there for sure, but overall the region as a whole has gotten more intense, more extreme drought conditions. You can see there certainly in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, but also severe drought covering much of the Southwest, the Four Corners, and the dry conditions, abnormally dry conditions, have increased, have spread across Central and Southern California. And you look at this forecast, and bone dry here through next week. You have temperatures that are also quite warm, near 80 degrees, and you look at that next 10-day forecast, Alex. No rainfall here. Duking it out of who's team shadow, who's team not shadow. So I'm the shadow. I want more winter.
Yeah, I'm ready for spring, and it's going to be a while, though. I think we're going to have to hold off on those spring-like thoughts for people in the northern half of the U.S. because we're stuck in this pattern that doesn't seem to want to go away, certainly in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
And that's the key. It's more north. The next question would be how many intrusions way to the south. So we have a sort of visual of what things will look like over the next couple days.
This is a pretty picture, Maria, looking kind of at the polar view, like looking down at the Earth from the North Pole's perspective. And the cold stuff, this is now today, this is the upper level pattern, will be moving time and time again, bringing cold air, the jet stream will, from north to south. And we can thank at least some of that to this blob of warmth that has found a home over very high latitudes.
Yes, you know, Alaska. We'll have to keep an eye on too for some of that. But yeah, keep an eye on the lower 48, but also North Pole and how that sort of blob shifts around. It
shifts around, but more or less stays in the same spot. Little lobes of that cold air come in from time to time. As long as this thing is up here, that spells trouble, sometimes, more often than not, for us in terms of cold air being delivered very quickly and effectively from Canada.
Because that's the nudge.
That's right.
The little nudge that pushes that to the south.
It's saying, get down here. I'm up here. You cold air, get down there. And we're going to see that again for a while. But the question is, how long? We know that the next, next 6 to 10 days, the first week of Feb, look like the northern part of the U.S. more likely to be colder than average, and the warmth stays in the west and maybe in the southern tier.
Again, not a temperature contour. This is a probability contour, so more likely up there, as you mentioned.
These are the odds of it being above or below, right? And then let's go to week 2, sort of the second week of Feb. Gosh, it looks the same as the first.
It does. It does.
When do we get out of this?
You have a peek.
I do, or we could ask our prognosticator, a little, what's his name, the little rabbit, or whatever it is.
The groundhog.
The groundhog. Well, you know what? He may be onto something if he does see a shadow, because it's possible that the second 2 weeks, the last bit of February, will still be cold in the northern tier. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we will start to see in the middle and latter stages of Feb some of those warmer times move out across the plains in places that have been cold. So I'm not sure that's exactly right yet.
You have Atlanta's groundhog to come on.
I do.
We'll see. Alex?